What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market, as we have some data coming out today that could be affecting how the market's going to be moving. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below, or use my QR code right over here to sign up. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100, you're going to get $20 of free Nvidia stock. If you deposit $2,000 or more, you're going to get $50 worth of NVIDIA plus $100. Deposits $10,000 or more to get $300 worth of NVIDIA for free plus $100. Or deposit $50,000 to get $1,000 of free NVIDIA stock plus $100. You're also going to qualify for an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, and the offer ends very soon, so please use my link down below to sign up. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, I just want to mention that there's going to be an attempt to bounce on Tesla, at least to start things off, but there's no guarantee that Tesla's going to continue to run or see a big bounce or anything like that because of some data that's coming out and this current setup. Now, if Tesla can get back above 450, then yes, there is better hope for it to bounce more. But if we struggle to get back above that, and if we kind of hit like 445 and just reject like this, there is going to be a risk of kind of like a head and shoulders like pattern. This kind of looks like a left shoulder. This is like a head, and this could be like a right shoulder. And also on the daily time frame, Tesla also has a bearish engulfing candle. Typically, even after we gap up a little bit, try to go a little bit higher, what typically happens is that we do continue to fall lower after forming bearish engulfing candles. That is what typically happens historically to Tesla. I did show you guys the charts yesterday. So it's not the best of signs, and there is still downside risk. We're not in the clear just yet. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Elon Musk as his net worth has surpassed $500 billion in October 2025, at least temporarily. He's the first person to hit that milestone, which is good for him. And the new proposed pay package could grant Elon additional Tesla shares, pushing his net worth to over $1 trillion. That would be great for Elon Musk, once again, incentivizing him to be the CEO, which is why a lot of these companies, a lot of investors really like his pay package proposal because, and once again, it's going to help Elon Musk be rewarded, give him an incentive to continue to working at Tesla, and that is, some good news. So we're going to see how that goes for him, but for now, that's something that's worth mentioning. Secondly, Tesla had very, very awesome sales. We had 497,000 of these sales in total, which was quite great. And this is what caused kind of like a pump and dump event. Now, one concern is that even though we saw this nice pump, much of that was priced in. And then secondly, the reason the numbers were so strong is because of the big increase in EV demand due to the EV tax credit coming to an end. But now that the EV tax credit is coming to an end, there might be a bit of a decrease in demand, at least temporarily. So the sales figures could even be coming down a bit, at least for the month of October. But hopefully, as time goes on, for the longer term, things still improve because that's what trends essentially suggest. Today is Friday, October 3rd, the first Friday of October this year. And keep in mind that at 9:45 a.m., we have the S&P Global Composite PMI data coming out. This data still comes out despite the government shutdown. Only the jobs numbers, the payrolls data, unemployment numbers, those things aren't coming out, but the ISM services data still will be released. Then at 10 o'clock a.m., we also have the ISM services PMI, business activity, employment, new orders, and prices. So look for volatility 15 and 30 minutes after the stock market ends up opening. So that's going to be very, very important. On top of this, there's about a 97.8% chance we get a cut according to our reports. That's what the market's pricing, and it still remains bullish. And keep in mind, the government shutdown is still continuing, but it's not really affecting the market too negatively, so the market still holds up. And then we also have a tendency of seeing some, chop on Fridays. There's about 357,000 of these calls expiring, and we have over 676,000 of these puts expiring for a 1.89 put to call option ratio. A lot of puts do expire, at least for today. So on Tesla, my warning is that this does kind of resemble like a head and shoulders like pattern. We need to get back above 450 to try to invalidate this and then try to turn more bullish. But if we can't hold above 440, there's going to be a risk of Tesla kind of shuffling between the 445 and 440 zone. And then if we lose 438 to 440, if we lose that support zone, I would not be surprised to see 430 flats and possibly even lower levels to get back down to these lows, forming a head and shoulders. There is a risk of something like that. So On Tesla, be prepared for a little bit of a shuffle. And then when the data comes out, we'll see if Tesla can pop or not. But there is going to be a risk of Tesla dipping again because of the head and shoulders pattern number one. Unless we get back above 450, I will turn a little bit more bullish. But I just want to say that we don't favor that. We favor consolidation and then eventually some kind of dip closer to 430 because the 4 hours showing weakness. The daily is also getting a big rejection of a bearish engulfing candle, which could be favoring another downside move back down towards 430, then eventually 425. And then when you look at Tesla, once again, the bearish engulfing candles, they do favor downside. So there is that downside risk on Tesla stock. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. On SPY, we're very flat right now. Now, if you want to be bullish, I'd like to see us hold above 670. If we could hold 670, we're looking for 672 plus. If we turn bearish after our data release, you want to see us essentially lose 668 first. If we don't hold 668, we could retest the 666 to 665 area. And if that breaks, we're looking for a bigger move down. As of right now, we look like we're going to consolidate around the 670 area, and hopefully we try to push back up to 672. But it is Friday, so we'll see. But nonetheless, the trend is bullish. Higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. As long as we can hold above 670, we're looking for a continuation higher for 672 or above. On the QQQ, the same thing is going on. Now, if we end up losing 603, we could be dipping back down to 602 in the low 600s. But if we break past 607, we're looking for new all-time highs. As of right now, the trend favors higher lows. And I want to see us basically hold 607. If we can hold above that, we're looking for new all-time highs. This is still looking bullish. We might consolidate and eventually try to push for 608 to 610. So the upside potential is still there. On the IWM, we were gapping up, which is great, but be careful. There's a gap below. Will we come back down to full gap at 244 and then kind of like bounce after that, or do we just go straight up to like 246? Could dip and bounce or just go straight up from here. ES is bullish, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Now, if we lose 67.50, looking for a dump back down to 67.25. But as of right now, even if we come down a bit, we should consolidate and eventually try to bounce for 6,800, forming a nice accumulation. We're still holding up very, very well, but I want to see us hold 67.50. Also, keep in mind that ES is technically testing new all-time highs up here, so it's it's still very, very solid. It's still doing a great job, and it should continue to uptrend as long as we don't end up losing 67.50 and 67.25. We're still technically bullish. Even on NQ, we're looking more bullish. I want to see us basically not lose 25,000. As long as you hold that, we're going to be favoring 25,200 plus. But if we lose 25,000, we could be looking for 24,872. So it could kind of dip here, then it continues to rebound. Looks bullish still. Bitcoin is still bullish as long as we don't lose 118,000. We're going to be looking for a test of 121,000 or above. And once again, for Tesla, it's not looking that great. There's kind of like a head and shoulders like pattern here. And because of the bearish engulfing candle, might kind of pop and then dip a little bit lower. So I do want to give you guys a warning about Tesla. For Nvda, we have resistance at 190. We need to break that to be bullish. But if we end up losing 188, we have a gap to fill down here. So 187 could be retested, and we'll see if it bounces. Overall, it might see a little bit of downside. Apple pumped to new highs and came back down. We need to hold above 254. If not, 250 becomes very possible. Palantir is looking weaker, might be retesting 183, then we'll see if it bounces. AMD might be retesting essentially 168 before potentially bouncing. Coinbase may also come down just a little bit. Might be retesting 365 before it tries to bounce and continue to push for 380. Amazon is still bullish. It's going to be favoring basically 223.6 and 225, and we'll see how it ends up reacting. Meta has 732's resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 737. Google has kind of like an inverse head and shoulders double bottom. We need to bounce off 244. It might come down just a little bit. And then Microsoft is testing 515 to 512. Should be bouncing off this range, but overall it's holding up well. The VIX is in the middle. Is this about to break out higher or is it about to get a rejection? The market did break all-time highs in the pre-market, but the question is, can it hold above 670 on SPY? Can the QQQ try to hold above 607? We're going to attempt to go a little higher when we open, but then we'll see depending on all this data that's coming out at 9:45 and 10 o'clock a.m. And as far as Tesla's going, we're going to see if this can pop in the morning, but nonetheless, I am seeing a weakness on this. Might pop a little bit and consolidate between 440 and 445. But then as time goes on, there's going to be a risk of more downside for the 430s or below because of this head and shoulders bearish engulfing candle and the weakness I'm still seeing. Thank you all so much for listening. Unfortunately, there's still weakness on Tesla stock unless we could hold above 450. Be prepared for possible downside in case it fails. And this is just a temporary move, so be mindful of that. And I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good one, and peace out.